The House Oversight Committee giving President Biden until Monday to admit that members of his family received more than $1 million cut from a Chinese wire sent to Hunter Biden's business associate.
House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer joins us now. Congressman, thanks for getting up early with us this morning. You know, you have the bank records showing these payments happened, but President Biden has repeatedly denied this entire story. Here's actually Biden denying it last week. Listen to this.
Any reaction to House GOP's new memo about your family dealing?
The family dealing.
Dealing that Hunter Biden's business associate sent over $1 million to 3 of your family members. Any reaction to that report?
That's not true.
Your reaction to really him, I mean, this is pretty rich that he's still denying it to the American public.
It's rich that the president just stood there and lied to the American people. It's also rich that the mainstream media hasn't called him out on it. I mean, where are the fact checkers? They've gone for years now saying that this is Russian disinformation, that the Bidens were involved in influence peddling. Then when the laptop surfaced, obviously they said that wasn't real, that had been compromised. Well, now I have subpoenaed bank records to prove that the family took over $1 million from a Chinese Communist Party-backed energy company for no apparent reason. And he's still denying it. He's still lying about it. So, yes, we expect an apology from Joe Biden. We're disappointed but not shocked that the mainstream media has turned a blind eye to this. But my message to the White House is this isn't going away. There are other bank records. There are other potential business, quote unquote, deals that your family has made with China and other adversarial countries around the world. We're going to get the truth out, and there's going to come a point to where eventually the mainstream media is not going to be able to let him stand up there and lie to the American people about the fact that his family's taken millions and millions of dollars from our adversary.
Yeah, you say you have around 11 more batches to come out at some point. To your point, he's going to have to admit something when the evidence just continues to pile in front of him. When will you release the next batch of information on these files?
Well, I'm very hopeful that we'll be getting some more bank records in within the next week. I mean, this is a step-by-step process. I've been very transparent with the American people about what the purpose of this investigation is. The purpose is to try to determine whether or not this White House is compromised because of the millions and millions of dollars his family's taken from adversaries around the world. We knew this based on whistleblowers. We knew this based on text messages and emails. Now we know this based on bank records. So we got our first set of bank records. Now that led to the second set of bank records that I hope to be getting in hand within the next few days. That second set will lead to the third set. And in the meantime, we were able to prove without a shadow of the doubt to the Treasury cabinet that, look, we need those bank violations because obviously this family has taken over $1 million from a Chinese communist-backed energy company for no apparent reason. So we need those bank violations. So we've gotten one set of bank records. We've gotten all the bank violations, and it looks like there are a lot more than 150, which had been previously reported. And we're going to continue to follow the money and try to get the American people the truth they deserve about this family occupying the White House.
Congressman, what about that one account that's just titled Biden? Who could that be?
It could be anybody. And I've been involved in banking for most of my life, and I've seen, a lot of bank wires. Bank wires are like checks. You put on there the name, the address, the date, the dollar amount, and then there's a memo at the bottom, just like a regular check. And all the bank wires that this Robinson Walker account had done over a 10-plus year period would always have the memo listed, except on the ones they sent to the Bidens, because that would be an obvious first step into trying to determine what exactly the Bidens did to get over $1 million from this company that just received a wire less than 24 hours earlier from China. Not only did this one wire not list the memo, it also just listed the last name, Biden, just like they were trying to hide it. They were obviously trying to hide something as to what the purpose of the wire was. And on this particular wire, not only were they trying to hide the purpose of the wire, they were trying to hide the first name of the wire. So we're trying to figure out what account that went to. We're trying to figure out which Biden that was. But as I've said for the past week now, at the end of the day, I'm pretty confident that all these shady business schemes from the Biden family with our adversaries around the world, you're going to see between 6 and 7 Biden family members who are actively participating in this and who are actively receiving money from our adversaries.
Wow.
That is a lot. Meantime, we are learning that former President Trump has not been notified about whether the Manhattan D.A. plans to bring charges, and that D.A. Alvin Bragg could ultimately decide not to indict the former president. What do you think, Congressman? Do you think that latter scenario where he doesn't indict Donald Trump is likely at this point?
I mean, this is a local DA trying to prosecute a presidential candidate based on federal election law. He's 2 levels of government below the appropriate level that would even have the potential to look at this case. So it's not constitutional what the DA, Mr. Bragg, is trying to do. I believe this is a political stunt, and it's very disappointing because in New York, you have one of the highest crime rates in America. His job is to prosecute the bad guys, but he's spending all this time in self-promotion trying to do what I consider a political stunt to further his political career at the expense of the residents in Manhattan who are suffering from crime. Remember, we flipped the House of Representatives in November because we overperformed in the state of New York. One reason Republicans won in blue state New York is because the voters were fed up with the Democrats' soft on crime policy. And this DA is the perfect example of a prosecutor whose priorities are all wrong.
Do you think this was a last-ditch effort by his office? Because it's obvious to the people of New York, he's not charging criminals the way they should be charged, and he saw what happened in New York in November.
Yeah, I mean, I think reality's setting in. From everything that we've read, this DA is very politically ambitious, and I have nothing against the people who are politically ambitious. But at the end of the day, when you're doing your job, instead of prosecuting the criminals in a high crime rate, and you're trying to focus on something that you clearly have no jurisdiction, then I think that he's starting to feel the heat from the voters. I don't think he's prepared to handle himself if he did show up for congressional inquiry, because this is certainly something that's in Congress's purview. We write federal election laws in Congress, not the Manhattan DA. So I do believe he's having a second thought on this, and obviously we'll see what he decides to do in the end.
Congressman James Comer, thank you as always for your insight. Getting up early with us. We appreciate it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.